Hey everybody, welcome back to episode 20 of From Gown to Games. My name is Jeff and this is my channel, Jeff Picking Up Change. And so this week there won't be any footage of pickups or sales or anything like that. I've been doing this for 20 episodes, and so I wanted just to kind of break down everything that I have found so far for the collection and give you guys some numbers as well as show off my collection to date. I don't do it very often because, as you see, this is the space that I have. It's on kind of like a desk, and that's really all I have and to show it off. And so I'm hoping in my wife and I's next place that we will be able to actually get a bookshelf or something like that so I can showcase this a little better and show it off on a day-to-day basis. But I'm going to go over and just show you everything that I have to date so you can see the entire collection. So I just kind of wanted to give you all some tips and tricks on how I've built this collection so far, as well as if you want to do it on your own, or if you want to do the same thing and do it with no money out of your pocket by picking up change. And so the first tip for that is, one, where is the best place to find change? I find change all the time, and a lot of people do not pick it up just because, for whatever reason, it's not worth their time to pick up a penny, or it's just a penny, it's just a nickel. I'm showing you that you can build a game collection or just have extra money by picking up that change. So whenever you see it, pick it up. I always, to start, and now still, if you like to run or walk or just to exercise, go drive to a Walmart, or if you live in an apartment complex, anywhere that you are able to, just instead of doing a workout or going for a run in that parking lot, walk in that parking lot, look for change while you're doing it, and I've had success, so I know you will too. Best places that I've found to find change. One, of course, is gas stations, right? People are always using cash to fill up their gas tanks, and so they're reaching into their pockets to get their keys out or their wallet out. Change falls out. Most of the time people don't catch it or they don't care enough to pick it up. So always look around gas stations. Next is fast food restaurants, right? A lot of these are places where people pay with cash. That is the key. People have to pay with cash in order for them to drop it or pull it out of their pockets. And so those are really the establishments that you are looking for. So fast food restaurants, right? Sonic, Dairy Queen, Whataburger, In-N-Out, whatever you like. Five Guys, Raising Cane's, anything like that. Go and look at those establishments and see if they have any change on the ground there, as well as just restaurants. I've done really well at like barbecue restaurants and just stuff like that. As long as it's not like high-end restaurant where people pay with credit cards, you'll probably be pretty lucky in finding what you want. Grocery stores are also great, right? I've done really well at like Dollar General, Family Dollar, stuff like that, as well as outside of Target, H-E-B, Kroger, anything like that. If you go outside of gas stations, if you go outside of grocery stores, you'll have a good chance of finding change as well. One of the places I wanted to point out that is not a good area is I've had no luck at like the big wholesale retailers. So Costco, Sam's Club, BJ's, stuff like that people use more credit cards than they do with change. I would recommend not going there because it's just, I have not found luck there, but you might, but I would avoid that. Also, Walmart. Walmart's a great one to go for kind of people always shop there, same as Target, grocery shop, as well as look for electronics or anything else. So make sure you also go to your Walmarts. And so those are some of the best places that I have found that you can look for change on the ground. Now, a few tips for buying and selling, right? So before I started this entire series, my thought process was always, if after fees and shipping and everything like that, I wasn't making like $10 or $15, I wouldn't pick it up personally because it wasn't worth my time, right? And I think a lot of resellers were in that same kind of thought process of, if it's not worth X amount of money. It is not worth your time. Building a game collection from the little amount or little starting place, any dollar amount that you can get out of an item is worth it. And so now anything I can get a profit from, I will pick it up and try to resell it. And so I think it was episode like 3 or 4. I sold the Star Fox GameCube case only, right? I think I got like, it was like $2 or $3 or $4 after fees after that. But I got it for essentially like 50 cents or something like that, right? That little amount of profit helped me tremendously continue to have money in the game fund. And so now if I'm making $6, $7 after fees and after shipping on something, it's worth it to me. And so do not be afraid to pick up those items that most people don't pick up, whether it's games or DVDs or anything like that. Those $5, $6, $7, you do that 10, 20 times, that is going to add up into hundreds of dollars that you can use and spend to profit off of, but also to build a game fund that most people will not touch. And so do not be afraid to get those lower dollar items that will sell quick and add money back to your fund. Sell anything and everything. I think a lot of people, when they do these series and when they're doing for their own personal use, they always stick to the main things, right? Like, oh, I'm only going to build a game collection from flipping games, right? Games are very hard now because people know what they're worth and they're easy to look up, so people know to look up games. And so you need to sell more than games to build a game collection now more than ever. And so I've sold video games. I've sold a lot of DVDs and VHSs. Board games. I have sold board games before. And shoes. I don't sell shoes. I don't think shoes work for me, but for a lot of people, buying and selling shoes from Goodwill bins or just from Goodwill or a thrift store, that works for them. You saw on one of my episodes, I bought medical equipment from Goodwill and flipped it to buy games. It wasn't in the series, so you won't see it, but I bought like commercial gas stove knobs the other day from Goodwill for like $7 that I sold on eBay for over $100. And so just keeping your eye out on stuff that you don't know about or haven't seen before, you need to look stuff up, right? I would have never known anything about those gas knobs for those stoves if I didn't look them up. Most of the DVDs, I don't know anything about DVDs. And so I always just look up stuff that I don't know. And yes, it is a time-consuming process, but sometimes it'll pay off. When you don't know something, you look it up, you'll be surprised some of the value of some of your items that you're getting. So always look up stuff that you don't know the value of, but also look, if you're trying to build a game collection or you're trying to get extra money for any reason, you need to sell anything and everything in order to build your cash flow. One thing that I haven't done in this series, but I've done in the past, are trades, right? I see people get game consoles and they trade it for older, like retro stuff. I've seen people do that. I haven't done it personally in this series, but I've done it before, like through Facebook Marketplace. And so if that works for you, continue to do that. Or if you've never done that before, be open to exploring that. And then always stay active on Facebook Marketplace and any other selling apps. Guys, good posts that are on Facebook Marketplace go extremely quick. I didn't show y'all it, but I might post it right here. Just a screenshot. There was a GameCube lot, I think for like $200 or $250 a few weeks ago on Facebook Marketplace. I messaged the guy within like 20 minutes, 23 minutes, something extremely fast. As soon as I messaged him, he sold it. And so it was a GameCube. The only game I remember is Chibi Robo, right? The GameCube game, which is worth like $200 by itself. It was a crazy amount of games, and that GameCube console, it would have been a crazy find to add, but I was a few minutes too late, right? And so make sure you're always staying on top of that. And if you have some free time, you're not doing anything, you're watching your show, whatever it is, you're watching YouTube, get on your phone for a little bit and scroll Facebook Marketplace or OfferUp or any of the other apps that you use and just see if you can get a good deal like that. But you have to stay diligent and you have to always be on there to find the best deals. Another tip that I have learned so much from that I think most people just don't realize is that you need to broaden your horizon and watch other content creators. I can't tell you how much stuff that I didn't know was worth anything, but by watching other people resell and flip, you learn so much. And I'm starting to watch people on like Facebook Marketplace shorts and YouTube shorts and stuff like that that have these BOLOs or anything that I had no clue were worth money, that now I'm looking for those things and I've found some of those DVDs. A lot of stuff you just don't think has value, that when you find something, that you find a video, you're on the lookout for it. And that's just kind of gaining that knowledge base you need to be a successful reseller or flipper to just build whatever you need, a game collection. Some good content creators that I enjoy watching, right? Now, some of these don't really post these like flipping challenges, anything like that, but their old content is still good because it still kind of gives you an eye-opening kind of thought process of what is worth money, right? I mentioned, I think a few weeks ago, if not in one of the upcoming videos, Retro Rick, right? I'm rewatching his $10 game collection series right now, and a lot of the DVDs that he's picking up, I've actually found either from my own personal collection or for this series. But now I'm looking out for more DVDs because of him. I used to watch Phoenix Resale all the time. I enjoyed his content and watching him buy and flip stuff. But just getting more knowledge of video games to know what was worth it and what wasn't. So I enjoyed his content, but I think all of his content now is on his quick flip page for his game store. Somebody I'm currently watching, Austin Heroics. This is like his third $10 game collection series. He's done, I think, one just in general, one Nintendo one, and now he's working on a PlayStation one or a Sony one. And so I'm watching him and getting a lot of good knowledge out of finding some games that I didn't think had value that are worth $10, $15, $20 that you buy those, you sell them, they add up to fund, or you can just keep them in your collection. And Cody with a K, I haven't watched his channel in a while, but I really, really enjoy his content as well. There's a ton of content creators, like I said, whether it's YouTube, Facebook Marketplace Shorts, YouTube Shorts. I'm actually watching a lot more on Facebook Marketplace, and I'm following a lot more content creators there as well. So, and Instagram. Instagram's a great place to create stuff like that. Let me know in the comments down below if you think I should create like a Facebook page or an Instagram page to kind of show off some finds that I have. But make sure you're watching other content creators so you can also kind of just broaden your knowledge base on what you should be looking for and buying and selling. And I didn't want to take up too much of this for the tips and tricks because the most important part and what people really want to see is the game collection as well as what the dollar amount is worth so far through 20 episodes. But the last thing, and it's probably the most important tip or the most important piece of knowledge that I can give you for this episode, is to collect what you want, right? You see people collecting whatever, the top of the GameCube games, or they want a complete in box Earthbound, right? Or the NES games that are worth, hundreds of thousands of dollars. You see people picking up that stuff. Collect what you want, right? I'm collecting stuff that I want. There's Game Boy Advance games in here, or Game Boy games, Xbox games, whatever console of stuff that I really enjoy, that I played when I was a kid, that's worth like $5. And I do not care. I'm going to add that game into my collection because I want it. And that's what you need to keep in mind. If you want it in your collection, pick it up, buy it, keep it. Your collection doesn't have to be worth a ton of money. If it makes you happy, that is all that matters, right? Make sure you are collecting for you. You are not collecting for anyone else. At the end of the day, If you play your games, great. If not, this stuff is literally sitting on a shelf collecting dust for a lot of us, right? And so make sure it just makes you happy whenever you see it, whenever you walk by it. Make sure it's making you happy and it puts a smile on your face to see what you've accomplished or some of the games that you enjoy to have. So that is the main key with building a game collection, is just to make sure that you are enjoying it and whatever you want in your collection, you collect. If you want to be the Game Boy Advance guy and have every Game Boy Advance game or Game Boy Color game or Game Boy 360, right? I know a lot of people hate on Microsoft with everything and they don't like the Xbox or the 360, but if you like the Xbox 360, collect those games, right? Don't let anybody else tell you what you should be collecting. You're collecting for you, and that's all that matters. All right, y'all, so I know I don't show you this very often, but this is my game collection so far through 19 episodes, basically, because this is episode 20. And so I'll give you a better view of everything. These are from like episode 1 or 2. Right? These are just extra Switch cases that I don't have, right? You see the Rampage, Game & Watch, Game Boy Advance games, our Zelda Complete in Box, more of their Game Boy Advance games, Complete in Box Game Boy, the Yu-Gi-Oh game, our Switch games, GameCube games. You didn't see this one on camera. This is just the case only that I got from a Goodwill. All of GameCube. All of Xbox 360. Bass Pro Shops. Scream, but it's not a game. Bass Pro Shop. I like collecting stuff like this. Game Boy Advance. Starlink. See the complete official guide for Breath of the Wild. Our 3 NES games. More GBA games. PSP games. The Dark Crystal. Our 2 Nintendo 64 games, a 3DS game, and then you'll see our Wii games, the rest of the Xbox collection, and then into our Wii U and Game Boy stuff, and then 3DS and DS. Remember all these, the GBA games and these top DS games are sealed. Our only few PlayStation games. Battle Stations, right? Grudge Warriors. Our PS3 games into our PS2 games. And then the rest of our Xbox stuff. So this is our collection through 19 weeks. As I said, this is episode 20, and so now I'm going to go through everything with y'all and kind of break down some of the prices of everything. Went through everything, and I have an Excel spreadsheet to date of what I have. Guys, honestly, I thought I would have way more consoles than I do. I am very surprised that, one, I've not found any, or two, guys, some people like ask crazy amounts on Facebook Marketplace or in retail stores and stuff like that. And that's just really why I haven't bought a console yet, right? We got our game fund up to like $800, and I like to get a bargain. I like to get something that I know is worth more, but I'm getting at least a little bit that I feel of a good deal on. And most of the time, it's just not in consoles. And so moving forward, I'm going to look to add more consoles, but I put consoles and handhelds into the same category. I have 3, right? I have the Zelda Wind Waker Wii U. I have the Game & Watch Donkey Kong 2. And then I have the Game Boy. Those are the only 3 consoles or handhelds that I have. And the value of those is $870, right? I was amazed. Those 3 equal that much money, but that is what price charting has based on them being complete in the box. I know the Game Boy isn't complete in the box, so I took a little bit of money out of that, but $870. So After that was we have the little mini arcade for Rampage. $19. I didn't know where to put that, and so I just put it in its own category, but $19. Now, I didn't go through and like list every single, like I have 20 Wii games or anything like that. I just added up the total of them. And so we're just going to go down the list of them. First of all is just Game Boy Color games. I looped those together. We have $43 in Game Boy and Game Boy Color games. For those, memorable one, right, is that Mickey racing game, and then also big wrestling fan, so the WrestleMania. Game Boy Advance games. Got quite a bit of those, especially from that lot that I bought from that guy for $50. $219 worth of Game Boy Advance games. Now remember, kind of everything here is in price charting. That's how I'm getting all these prices. And so whether it's complete, loose, anything like that, I'm getting that in price charting. And so the big one, as you can see, is the Yu-Gi-Oh! Complete in Box Game Boy Advance game. That's the big one. And then those two sealed Game Boy Advance games, crazy finds, but those are kind of the big ones and the memorable ones for Game Boy Advance. Now, Nintendo 3DS and Nintendo DS is $96. Now, for the DS and the 3DS, I don't have like too many memorable ones. Lego games, a few like Brain Boost and like a SpongeBob Nickelodeon game, that Ducati motorcycle game. There's not really anything that's memorable, but nonetheless, cool stuff. I like collecting for DS and 3DS. The NES, we only have 3 games. It's like pinball, a wrestling game, and then I think a NES golf game or something like that. $32 for the NES. No Super Nintendo games. I only have found like and gotten one Super Nintendo game. And so that is it, but I sold it. And so that is it. I hope to really add more NES and Super Nintendo games to our collection moving forward. A Nintendo 64, we only have 2 games. The wrestling game and then the Rugrats game. $23. The GameCube, for our GameCube selection, $163. We have way more GameCube games than what I thought. I didn't think I would be able to find any GameCube games for cheap prices. So I'm very surprised at what I have in the collection. I would like to thoroughly expand my GameCube collection and get some of those staple titles in for the Zelda, the Mario, anything like that. I want to add quite a bit of those to my GameCube collection. The Wii. The Wii is probably the biggest one that we have. $264. Now, I'm happy with my Wii selection. I actually really enjoy for the Wii. We got that sealed Link's Crossbow training. We have a few other sealed Wii games. I got new Super Mario Bros. For the Wii. Mario Party 8 is only the case that I got from Goodwill. But I'm hoping to add more staples. I want to add both Zelda games on the Wii because that's where I played Twilight Princess and Skyward Sword. So I'd like to add those. And then I want to add some more, Mario games, some Mario parties, stuff like that to our Wii selection. Wii Sports and Wii Sports Resort. I found that first Wii Sports game to start our collection off in the first flip of the entire series. I would like to add that back. But I just haven't found it, or if I have, it's like $40, and I'm not paying $40 for Wii Sports or Wii Sports Resort. So you will see a lot more Wii games because I love collecting the Wii. The Wii U, $91. So the Wii U, I did not expect to collect very many Wii U games. I wanted that Wii U console, the Zelda Wind Waker console, but that's really it. Other than that, I didn't have a Wii U growing up, and so to have any games, Wii U games, is cool to me. Nintendo Switch. I actually really enjoy collecting personally for the Nintendo Switch. I love all the remakes, and there's so many games that I want to play that I didn't experience growing up that I want to on the Nintendo Switch. And so, to me, memorable ones that we have in our collection is the Lego Harry Potter collection and Luigi's Mansion. Stardew Valley, right? We have some really good stuff, but I'd like to add more. Also, guys, I think one of my goals for this next coming 6 months is this is like the day after Zelda Ocarina of Time for the Switch 2 got announced. And so I think I want to add a Switch 2 and then that game when it comes out sometime in 2026. So I want to do that, right? That might be my favorite Zelda game of all time. It's between that and Link to the Past. I think it edges Ocarina of Time, edges it just a tiny bit. But I love both of those games, but I really want that. And so hopefully we'll have some Switch 2 games and a Switch 2 console in our game collection coming up. The Xbox. $152 in our Xbox Turok, that X-Men Legends game. They're not really Xbox, but they can be played on the Xbox or the 360, which is what we're going into next. Xbox 360, $181. To me, like I said, in the tips and tricks section, remember, I said collect what you want. This is your collection. You need to collect for it. I love all the Burger King games, right? I played those all the time. They were extremely cheap growing up at Burger King. And so I wanted all of those. I played those a lot with my brothers. And so to be able to add every single one of those games to my collection meant something to me. I know people think they're ridiculous or they would never, collect those. But to me, I wanted to collect those. So I did. So those are Xbox and Xbox 360 compatible. So I made sure that I got those. And then Halo 2, right? All the Halo games. Some of the memorable stuff for Xbox 360. Xbox One, $82. Really, the only things I know on our Xbox One collection is really Worms and Doom, right? Not too much. I don't have an Xbox One. Don't really collect for it. Don't really play it. So $82 for the Xbox One. PS1, $43. A few PS1 games. Basically, the PS1 games that I have is just stuff that I don't think is worth selling. And so that's how it ended up into our collection. Never had a PS1 growing up, and so not too much nostalgia there. PS2, $115. I would love to have a massive PS2 section. I never had a PS2 growing up, but my cousin Jake had a PS2, and when I would go over there, and we would play Twisted Metal all the time. We'd play God of War. That is actually where I played Gauntlet a lot, the OG Gauntlet games. They had some sort of remake. I don't know which one it is, but they have some remake that has us on there. And we played through 100 levels of the original Gauntlets on there. So I would like to build out my PS2 collection. I want the God of War games. I've never played the Kingdom Hearts games, but I would love to have the Kingdom Hearts games on there. And then, Final Fantasies, more stuff like that. I would like to have in our PS2 section. PS3, $75. PS3, I really would love the big compatible one that can play 1, 2, and 3 games. They're like $250, $300, so I probably won't have one, but I would love that to be able to play through all of the PS3 games. PS4 is our last kind of category or game system, $43. To me, the memorable one, as I said previously, love the Predators games or movies, and so the Predator game that we got, Haunting Grounds, was cool. Now, everything that I'm talking about, I did not put anything on there that is listed on eBay. I have everything listed on eBay separately. I took 50% of what it is listed on eBay for. And so that comes out, I think, to $800. And that I have listed on eBay. The Sega Genesis games are on there. The Tony Hawk and 64 game, stuff like that. Stuff that I just don't really care about. That at the end of the series, if I still have it, I'm just going to sell it anyways. And so a lot of that stuff, the car stereo speakers, all the rest of the DVDs, everything like that, I just put 50% of the value of what I have posted for, that if I could get that in our game fund, or I would probably take less than what I have it posted for. So 50% would be good for me. It's about $800 of stuff that I have listed between the games, right? The consoles and that mini arcade. I have about $2,600 plus the $800 that I took half of that, would be $3,400, right? Guys, in 20 episodes, I have built up $2,600 in consoles and games, and like I said, it's half of it, but $800 of inventory that I have in my eBay store. Now, I'm going to be continuing this for a while because I would like to have some staples in my collection. That's kind of where I'm going for, right? As I said, I want the Switch 2 and the new Ocarina of Time. If they make a Switch 2 console designed by that, I would love that. I want some more staple Wii games, PS2 games, staple GameCube games, right? I think I want some more like Game Boy Advance and Game Boy Color games. I want some actually NES stuff. I want Pokemon stuff in our collection. There's so much stuff that I want that I just don't have in here that I will be searching for in the upcoming weeks. Thank you so much for watching. As I said, this was episode 20. It's been 19 episodes. We found all this stuff. It's been amazing. I'm going to continue this, and hopefully in my next place that I live, I will be able to showcase it off more on a regular basis. If you like what you're watching, if you made it to the end of the video, please subscribe to my channel, Jeff Picking Up Change. Please like this video. Comment on your favorite game or console or handheld that I have to date. I know I have some big weeks coming up and some stuff that people probably are not going to like that I added, or that they think that they would not have added. They would not have bought that, right? But this is my collection. I'm building it the way I want to, and I'm adding stuff that I want to add. But guys, thank you so much for watching, and I will see y'all next week.